Would you believe day 7 of the World Cup almost upon us, and to look ahead to those games that are taking place, I'm joined by Tommy Smith, Stevie Nicol and Stuart Holden. Boys, let's start, shall we, with certainly out of the three, the one that jumps out at you, Spain against Chile.
Yeah, you just wonder, I mean, what kind of changes is Del Bosque going to make? I mean, obviously, he has to make changes. He can't put the same team out that played the Dutch. I mean, or do you say to them, OK, go out there and show us that you can play? I mean, Xavi was terrible. I mean,
you could take your pick.
He doesn't have a striker on either, does he?
I mean, you could actually take your pick. There was so many that just didn't perform. Personally, I would be for getting them back in the saddle and saying, right, you know what, let's see what you really have.
So you'd go with the same 11?
But
I would.
Isn't there a key here? I mean, Casillas had a terrible Champions League final, really, and he follows up with a terrible, terrible game against the Dutch. So do you make a change in goal? I mean, isn't that your fundamental first decision?
The problem you've got De Gea's injured as well, isn't he?
But you're not showing that to your team, you know. Casillas is a leader, whether he had a bad game against the Dutch, but, you know, he's a leader in the back four. If you make a change at this point after one game with your goalkeeper, I think that sends a message to your team that you're not.
He couldn't get his place with Real Madrid all year, and yet now he's still getting his place with Spain.
It is a tough one, Tommy. You know, as far as form's going, there's no question he's not in form, but it's the psychological part of the game that...
I don't know anything about that.
I would see Torres. Let's get Torres up front.
Oh, Torres.
Well, that's an easy one. You can't play Torres.
Come on. Play Torres.
Oh, let's talk about the other game, Australia against the Netherlands.
Well, Australia are certainly up against it. I mean, the way they started against Chile, if they start like that against the Dutch, I mean, they're going to go nowhere. But they showed a lot of spirit in trying to get back into it. And, you know, I think they have a shot. It's a very, very slight shot. They are big, big, long shots.
Yeah,
guaranteed
100%. They've got to start better. There's no question about that. But secondly, if they can get the ball wide to Orr and Lecky and get them running at the opposition defenders and get that ball in the box, because all you got to do is put it in the box with Cahill and he'll do the rest. Just give him half a chance and he'll. His
timing's unbelievable in the air, isn't he? Gets his arm up on the defender's back, and you know that. We've seen it time and time again for him at Everton and at the New York Red Bulls, and they're going to look to him again to bring some goals. Croatia
against Cameroon is the final game, Stevie. Your thoughts quickly on
Come on,
well,
Stevie.
I have a bet that Croatia are going to do well, so I'm going to have to stay with Croatia.
I know. Big game for them, especially after Mexico got that draw against Brazil.
Well, Cameroon looked terrible in the first game. I mean, they looked terrible.
All right, Tom.
OK, they look terrible.
All right, calm down.
They look terrible.
Thanks to Tom.
Well, they'll have Mandzukic back as well. That'll be good.
Hey, there you go. Or Mandzukic, whichever you prefer.
Well, one of the Mandzukic brothers.
Thanks to Stevie and to Stuart. Keep it here on ESPNFC.com for all your World Cup coverage.